center of the universe and the Thrive15.com world headquarters.
Let's go!
Presenting the world's only business school without the BS with optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and the Former Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear, Clay Clark. It's the Thrivetime Show. 3, 2, 1, boom.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Business Coaching Radio Show, where we answer all of the business questions that you could possibly have, and we try to help make your wallet grow at the same time, Dr. Z. It's a simultaneous move. We're trying to help you learn what you need to learn and make that wallet grow, my friend.
Because we want you to have time freedom and financial freedom. And speaking of that, Clay.
Yes.
I know we've been back over the weekend a couple of days now. It's Wednesday, Hump Day, as Geico has really kind of rebranded that.
Hump Day.
Hump Day. But I know you had a little, I see we have some new little toys on the desk, and I know you were just in Florida with the family.
Well, if you're on Facebook Live right now, you can check out the accoutrements, the new wonder. One, Dr. Z brought in a suit of armor. Very, very nice. Very,
yes, very.
Retail price, thousands for limited time.
It could be priceless. I don't know.
It could be.
And my little parrot from, I forget where.
From someplace important.
Someplace
tropical.
Someplace, let's get tropical.
And then you also have a signed Jerry Jones football, Dallas Cowboys from this year.
Yes, my sister is one of the producers of the Today Show on NBC, and they were doing a series of very successful men and being also their daughters that look like they're being very successful too. And so she went down and interviewed Jerry Jones and his daughter, who's like one of the highest ranking NFL female executives, in the NFL thing. And so he signed a football tour. So I brought this to kind of counteract a little bit of the
shameless
swag.
Patriots swag.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of my Dallas showing through. And then also I brought a
it's a it looks to be
Sam didn't know what it was. Sam
is it an egg? Is it an egg?
No.
If you're on Facebook Live, what is I can't see it. What is it? What kind of accoutrement do you have there? What kind of swagalicious is that? Is it a softball? Is it a bocce ball? Is it what is that?
No, keep going.
I don't know. Is it
wanna hold it?
A diagram of the planet Saturn without the ring around it? It's the moon? I don't know.
It's the moon orbiting inside the box that rocks.
A large golf ball?
No.
What is it?
Okay, what's a game? It's played with mallets, and you ride
Croquet.
around on horses.
Croquet.
No, you ride around on horses.
You don't ride a horse when you're doing croquet.
No,
you're not
you
out there
don't.
just
What's that? You ride a horse.
Oh, geez. Polo?
Polo. It's his unofficial
polo.
ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got down in Argentina. So.
Wow. I'm always trying to get croquet to be played on a horse, and for some reason they never make that.
The small ponies in the backyard or something.
So we got back from Florida, and we were in Florida. I bought a Coconut King there, which is basically if you get yourself a pina colada for the wife, then you get to keep the Coconut King. So it's a coconut they've carved out in the shape of some kind of animal there. Its head, it's hollowed out. It's a beautiful piece of, it's a great piece of memorabilia to bring back with you. And we went to Florida, and you know that I struggle so much while being out of town. I don't travel well. And so, I'm always trying to mic everybody when they're not looking. I always get live audio for people. Yeah. Well, I actually mic'd myself at a low point on the trip. My wife was like, "Are you okay? Do you have a problem? Are you okay?" And this is the audio that I told my wife here. So here we go from the trip to Florida.
As long as I'm in my apartment, I'm okay. But when I want to go out, I get weird. Talk about weird. Well, I get dizzy spells, nausea, cold sweats, hot sweats, fever blisters, difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing, blurred vision, involuntary tremor.
So my wife, the whole time we're on the trip, though, she's for doing the movie What About Bob? My wife's like, baby steps. Because I'm such a diva. I have so many needs. I have so many needs, and just traveling is so. The kids had a great time. We did the wave runners. We had a lot of fun. Stayed at a great resort at a beach house. It was awesome. It's just kind of a deal of like, for some reason, leaving the friendly confines of my dojos of mojo kind of freaks me out a little bit. Isn't the box that rocks the perfect place for an American man?
Absolutely. It's kind of our little man cave, slice of a man cave right here. So, but yeah, the thing about it is that's very well said, and that's how The same way you got through your weekend vacation in Florida with your family is a lot of the same steps that people should take when starting a business, and that is baby steps. Start small, grow small, get it sorted out. I mean, so many people they think they need to jump in, buy a building, start a whole big thing. It's like the guy that was wanting to start in his coffee shop the other day.
Yeah. You can't just go out there and get the capital and get a coffee shop going. You've got to do what first, my friend?
Well, maybe do a coffee car. But, I mean, he was like, man, if I could just get $250,000, I can see my dream. I said, no, just start smaller. Maybe a coffee cart, maybe this. I mean, have you ever made coffee? Do you know how to make coffee? Have you ever worked in a coffee shop? You might want to, some other steps before that. But the point is just that mindset of baby steps, and baby steps are all right when you're starting your business.
Now, today we have, along the concept of baby steps, we have three small steps, three small things I think can make a big difference for the entrepreneurs out there. Three topics we're going to cover today. And so topic number one is we're going to answer some mailbag questions. We're going to get into some questions from some real thrivers out there that want to know, hey, what are a couple practical steps I can take in this specific area? Then we're also going to be talking about how to wow your customers. We're going to talk about the specific moves to wow your customers. And three, we have a little bonus item. We have a little bonus item, a little surprise for the thrivers out there. And I believe that this small baby step could be a one giant leap for for mankind, for your business. This little small step could be a game changer for you.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
All right, so here's a question from a thriver out there. This is a guy named Brandon, and Brandon basically wants to know. He says, "How much of my gross revenue should I be saving for advertising? How much should I be saving for advertising?" Then he says, "How much?" These are very specific questions. Okay, he says, "How much of my gross sales should I contribute to insurance?" Okay, he says, "How much of my gross revenue should I contribute to my cost of goods?" He says, "How much of my gross revenue is appropriate to set aside for payroll? How much of my gross revenue should I be reinvesting in my business? And how much of my gross revenue should I be contributing to my retirement fund?" We call it the automatic millionaire fund, but where you save money pre-taxed, whether it be through a Roth IRA, an IRA, or a 401k, some way that you automate your savings so that you get it done. So let's start with the savings question, okay? So here we go. How much of someone's money should they be setting aside, Z, for saving, in your mind, for setting it aside, kind of building that war chest?
Well, I tell you what, if they've got their business started, and so now we want to be diligent in setting some aside, you want to make sure that you are at least, and this may be sometimes percentages can get off a little bit, but you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of, if you're able to with your company, with the 401k and matching funds from the company. This is kind of a no-brainer. What happens is that the government will allow you to set up a fund, and you can put pre-tax dollars in, and then the dollars don't get taxed until you get to 65 and you take them out, but it'll be a much lower tax rate at that point in your life. But the point is that you can also, through the company, match them if you set it up correctly. You can match them, and you can double your money step one. That's a great incentive to keeping employees.
And for anybody who's kind of new to 401k, I just want to give a little bit of a clarifier there.
Yeah, break that down a little bit.
Basically, if I earn, let's say, $10 of income, after taxes, on average, I always tell people about a third of your check will disappear. So now you're down to 70 cents. Well, the government has allowed you to...
Oh, wait, $10 down to 70 cents?
I'm sorry, if you take $10,
wow,
and that's pretty intense. That's what I would call intense communism.
Do you live in Russia?
Yeah, when I was actually vacationing in Florida, I was actually vacationing there in Cuba. No, but here's the... If you earn $10, the government will take, let's say, 30% out. So now you're down to $7.
Okay, that sounds better.
And so if you want to invest the money before government takes their taxes out, there's multiple ways to do that. But if you're an employee, a 401k plan is a plan where a qualified employer can establish this plan for your benefit. You just need to talk to your HR director if you're an employer, and they'll tell you if they have that program set up.
Right.
And if you're a self-employed person or somebody who has multiple streams of income, you might want to get with a financial advisor to learn about maybe an IRA, which is an individual retirement account, or a Roth IRA, which is named after the legislator who helped kind of come up with this new version that's really helpful for small business owners. But either way, you want to save money pre-tax if you can. And Z, I want to cue up some music that is the antithesis of what it feels like for many people to save. Because you got to get excited about saving.
You got to get excited about it.
A lot of people, when they hear saving, they hear like, wah, 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 wah. But saving, in my mind, when you hear someone talk about saving, this is awesome. This is exciting. When you can set aside money. I mean, do you not feel good about this? I mean, when you can
See,
save
kick the disco ball off.
Oh,
This is cool.
wow.
I'm gonna get on.
I'm just saying, when you can
I'm
set
going back
aside
for it.
money pre-taxed.
Oh, to spend it later on whatever you
Ah.
want to.
Now, Z,
so
have
good.
you ever had a time where you've ever, set aside money, let's say, and all of a sudden something bad happened that you didn't expect, that you had to pull from the savings to fund, to pay? Has it ever happened, ever?
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't actually something bad. It was something good. It was an opportunity. And you know what? It's kind of like you do the math on it. You say to yourself, okay, this is worth pulling some money out because this opportunity is just too great an opportunity. And so, sometimes cash is king. Sometimes you got to get your hands on some, some cash. And so it's nice knowing that you've got that war chest growing and setting aside, and you're being diligent with it, because you'll look up in 10 years and be like, wow, I got a little nest egg there.
Well, nest egg, baby. Now, here's the thing: is Napoleon Hill, best-selling self-help author, he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. He also wrote a book called The Success Principles. And in those books, what he does is he looks at the number one reasons why people fail. And one of the top 10 reasons he discovers why people fail is that everybody's going to come into some kind of adversity, but most people who don't save can't fight their way through it. So since I've had my businesses, I've had an entire trailer full of equipment stolen when we owned DJ Connection. I've had things burn. I've had buildings broken into. I've had employees steal stuff. I could go on and on listing the things, but I would just say this is a great question from the Thriver. And if you had to say a percentage to save, what would you say? What's the percentage of the gross revenue that you'd recommend to save? Kind of minimum if you can.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. If you've got an opportunity for a 401k investment opportunity through your business, or you could do an IRA, you want to max those out. So that kind of skews the percentages. So you want to take advantage of those now. It may hurt a little bit in the early days, but you know what? Trust me, you'll be happy you did it. But if I had to just say somewhere in there, I'd say 5 to 10%.
Okay, 5 to 10%. So, Mr. Thriver, here's a move for you. Today, get with a financial advisor and get this set up. Everyone listening here today, get that set up. If you need a recommendation, we'd be happy to recommend them. Just email us, info@thrive15.com. Email info@thrive15.com. We can recommend a financial advisor for you that either we've personally worked with or we've heard great things about, give you a couple options. But definitely start that saving here today. Now, question number 2 is, what percentage of my gross profit should I be reinvesting in my business? What percentage of my gross profit should I be reinvesting in my business? See?
Well, here again, you kind of have to break that down a little bit, because when you talk about gross profit, what all have you paid for? I believe what you're saying there is maybe gross sales, just gross number. You think, Clay, did they give you any more information in the question?
I don't have any more on it, but I'm going to frame it this way.
Okay.
At Elephant in the Room, our men's grooming lounge,
okay.
Basically, if someone pays us $35, let's say we pay the person cutting your hair $20, and we spend $5 on advertising, and we spend X amount of dollars. Let's just say at the end of the day, we have a profit. What we brought in minus expenses, we're stuck with about $10 left of profit after a $35 haircut. I think that's maybe the way we should frame it. And when we come back after the break, we'll kind of deep dive into the details of that. But these are all great questions, very specific questions. And I love it when Thrivers ask these specific questions, because I feel like this is the stuff behind the stuff that no one else talks about that will help you get to the other end of the rainbow, Z.
And sometimes you just want to get over the rainbow.
Find that unicorn.
And just get the leprechaun and the little bucket of gold.
Find the black hole.
Stay tuned.
This show is brought to you by Adobe Creative Cloud. If you're a photographer, graphic designer, video editor, podcaster, business owner, or just creative genius, this is for you. All of your creative tools, all in one place. Creative Cloud includes the entire collection of creative apps for desktop, from favorites like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator to new tools like Adobe Experience Design. Check this out. You can create podcasts seamlessly and high quality with Adobe Audition. Did you miss the exposure or looking to create a stunning and beautiful photo? You gotta download Lightroom, okay? The latest release of Adobe Creative Cloud is here with incredible new features in Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and all of your favorite apps, plus millions of Adobe stock assets, and new premium images are built right in. So you can turn your brightest ideas into your best work fast. make sure that you check out Adobe Creative Cloud. It's at adobe.com. Once again, Adobe Creative Cloud at adobe.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, Green Country, Oklahomies, welcome back to the show that gets you the specific action steps that you need to take to start or grow that successful business. And according to Forbes magazine, 57% of you, the super intelligent listening audience, wants to start a business at some point. And so what we do every day is we look through our mailbag of questions that specific Thrivers just like you are asking. And today we have a cornucopia, a plethora of questions that have been asked by a specific Thriver, and I am excited to unpack them, my friend.
And does that mean a lot?
It's a lot. I mean, from the root word many is what we're
root word lot.
Lot.
Which means big space.
Big space. So here we go,
Yes,
Thrivers. We have a question from a
space.
Thriver, many specific questions from a Thriver. The first one he asked was, how much of my gross sales should he be saving for us to become an automatic millionaire? Basically, how much money should he be setting aside to make sure that he retires in a good spot and has money to build his war chest? And we suggested between 5 to 10% of your gross revenue. The second question is, how much of my gross profit should I contribute to reinvesting in the business? And I just wanted to clarify that. We wanted to clarify the details of that. So basically, if you come in for your first haircut at Elephant in the Room, it's $1. It's $1 for your first haircut. And this week at our downtown location, we sold like 103% conversion, which means that more people signed up for a membership than actually came in. So a couple people bought 2 memberships. And so it's kind of a fun deal. But the first haircut, it's $1. I mean, we don't make any money on that. Okay, it's $1. So at the end,
do you consider that, though, putting money back into your business or advertising marketing? Because that's where it can get a little fuzzy on the answer.
I think
on this.
advertising is the best thing you can do to put money back into your business. I think a lot of people running around buying equipment and random stuff. I love to reinvest in advertising and marketing.
Yeah, and advertising and marketing doesn't really reinvest in the business so much as it presses on the gas pedal of the car and it makes it go faster. So, and I'm sure if he's thinking about, like hard assets here, or like, hey, I want to add a wing onto the building. I want to, I want to repaint the thing. I want to get some new speakers so the sound we're pumping into the waiting room sounds good.
I'll use the Sam Walton rule. And when I was DJing, I hadn't read his book yet. It's called Made in America. And when I read it, I was going, oh my gosh, Sam Walton gets it. He said he'll invest anything. He'll invest in anything that will make the business grow.
Right.
And anything that won't make the business grow, you really have to have a good reason for it. It's got to be like an over the top. So he said, nope, we're not using computers. Nope, we're not going to buy this new system. Nope, 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 nope. And then his brother pulls him aside and says, hey, if we send a satellite to space, when somebody checks out through the checkout with the cashier, when they check out and we scan it, boop, it'll send an electronic message instantly to Colgate telling them that we just sold a unit and therefore will never run out. So it'll automate the notification. Instead of calling Colgate and saying, hey, we're out of toothpaste, they'll get a notification and then they'll make just enough to have it done just in time. And I think we should do that. And at this time in American history, no businesses had satellites in space for inventory. And he's a man who consistently said no, 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 no for all technology. And he goes, yeah, we should do it.
Yeah, we should do it.
So they launched a satellite into space, which gave them a huge competitive advantage. And I say all that to say, anything you can invest that's going to make your business grow, anything you can invest in that will do that, that's what I would be talking about. I think, but a lot of times people buy random crap they don't need because it's a write-off, and that just makes me crazy.
It makes me crazy. So many people use that term, and I don't think they understand that we're not here. Listen, this is not the show for you to listen to learn how to get more write-offs.
What? I want to learn about write-offs.
Well, that's the thing about it is a lot of people start a business and they'll look at me and go, wow, that's a good write-off. And I'm like, no, I don't want a write-off. I don't want that implies losing money. I don't want that. I want to pay taxes in copious amounts. They just cock their head and look at me and go, that means I'm making lots of money.
I think a lot of people, when they hear the word write-off, though, this is what they hear in their mind. They go, oh my gosh, even though that advertisement medium makes 0 cents at all, maybe I could write it off.
I can write it off.
That trailer, although it makes 0 cents at all to buy a brand new trailer, I could buy a used one, but I could write it off.
I can write it off.
I could get myself 2 Hummers because I could write it off. It's a big vehicle, my friend.
and the gas that goes in it, I can write it off.
I can write it off. Z, what else can you write? I mean, what else has someone tried to pitch to you as a write-off?
That TV screen that I'm going to buy in the bathroom and put up there where 2 of my employees look at it, and then I can run different ads across it.
But you could write
I
it
can
off.
write it off.
You could put that flat screen TV above that urinal. And I don't want to get graphic, but I will tell you this: when a man is doing what a man has to do, he could be looking at the updates and that newsletter on that flat screen on ESPN, and you could write it off.
Write it off. The other thing you could do, you could get a new kind of color copier that you don't even need to print stuff, but it's such a good deal.
But you could write it off. You know, you could auto ship your lunches to your clients. You could auto ship. You could sign up with a very expensive caterer in town and auto ship all of your clients' lunch. And you might not need to.
But it's okay because you can
write it off. So that's just something to think about, Thrivers. So
yeah, that would be something right there that you take a hard look at. What was the name of the Thriver that wrote this in? Because I kind of feel like I'm talking to him.
Yeah, this is from Brandon.
Okay,
a contractor in Tulsa, wanted to know what percentage of his gross profit should he be reinvesting in the business?
Yeah, I would say that probably a good rule of thumb is maybe that 5 to 10% again. That you're always kind of, and it's not every month because you may want to get a big item, but I would really, really say, I'd really caution you. And Clay, that was a very, very powerful word, and hopefully the Thrivers got it. And that is, make sure, particularly in the early days, you're only buying stuff that's going to help you move the needle. You're not just buying stuff to make it more, how do you say this without being, I don't want to sound mean.
Culturally comfortable?
Yeah, you're just not buying stuff because, your staff needs another little trinket or toy to, they say is going to help them do something faster, and it's not. But it's a comfort item.
You've got to set a budget, though, for it, Mr. Thriver. You've got to make sure you set up a set amount of money you're going to spend to reinvest in the business. And I would highly recommend 5% of your gross revenue, 5 to 10% of it is set aside for advertisement. And I will tell you, with Elephant in the Room, when we started, we were spending crazy amounts of money on mailers, online ads, because we needed to. We were growing the business. And now the word of mouth is so big, we still continue to keep the pedal to the metal, in my mind, to take 5% of our gross revenue and buy ads. So now we could spend 50%, but we just spend about 5 to 10%.
Yeah, and when I started off, I was 10%.
Woo!
10% of my gross sales, in fact.
You're on fire.
I put in advertising. But now it's not even a percentage point. So the point is, a lot of points there.
A lot of points.
The point is that as your business grows, we can reduce the percentages of it. Sometimes you can get kind of locked in these percentages, and you're like, I am controlled by a percentage. I am a robot, and you're not. So the point is that as your business grows,
Are you a business owner? You need to ask yourself right now, how are you backing up your files and important documents? Most businesses have no system for the files in their business. If this is you, you got to use Dropbox. At least sign up for one of their 30-day free trials. Real talk, it's the secure file sharing and storage solution that employees and IT administrators trust. You get as much space as needed at no additional cost. You get unlimited file recovery and versioning, basically creating new versions, and valuable admin controls for secure sharing and collaboration with Dropbox for Business. You got to check this out. After using Dropbox, you'll definitely feel more secure knowing that a virus or power surge can't ruin your computer and your entire business. Try full access to Dropbox Business for 30 days. Head over to Dropbox.com to get started. Again, Dropbox.com to get started.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
All right, and yes, welcome back to Business School Without the BS. But before I digress, let me introduce you to the co-host with the mo-host, the man with the plan, a guy who might or might not be taking performance-enhancing drugs to be here today. He's not feeling so good. He's under the weather. Oh, you got the Dayquil. The Dayquil liquid is now finally here.
Oh, I'm happy.
Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
Oh, I'm so happy with my Dayquil. I think I can make it through the next hour and a half. I tell you what. That and some baked beans from Oklahoma Joe's and some burnt ends and a little bit of Dayquil to wash it all down, and just what the body needs.
I have a question for you here real quick before we get back into the mailbag.
Okay.
Because we have Thrivers out there that have a lot of mailbag questions. But I have a question for us, a sincere, from me to you. I want to ask you this.
Okay.
when you were building your businesses, you used to run around with a notebook, and you took really fastidious notes, very detailed, small print, very detailed
Small
notes
print.
in
I
your
was a
notebook.
small writer.
You'd see a problem, you'd fix it on the workflow. You got Post-it notes everywhere. And Elephant in the Room is growing and maturing, and Thrive is growing and maturing. And I could say, checkbox financial freedom, checkbox time freedom.
Checkbox.
How do you get mental freedom? Because this is something, we went on this great trip to Florida this past weekend.
Yeah.
I had a great time, and we've stayed at a wonderful place. God's blessed us with a great ability to travel at this beach house. It was awesome, and I was so thankful, and my kids had a great time. But it was freaking me out mentally many times because, one, I'm afraid of heights, and so the whole air travel thing can be tough, and confined spaces. So that's a separate thing. But how do you mentally free yourself? If I'm listening right now and I'm going, gosh, I can afford to travel. I have the time to travel, but it freaks me out. How do you do it? Because you're an international man of mystery. You travel.
It's a mystery. Well, the way I do it is that you have to kind of trick your brain at first until you can kind of do it automatically. You got to trick your brain to do it. You got to trick your brain to do it. And the way I trick my brain to do it is by reading a story that's entertaining, not a one on business, not one on, hey, how to fix my car in 3 easy steps, nothing like that. It's something entertaining. It's like a movie in my head.
Are there books written that aren't about how to make a successful business?
Yes.
Where would you find those? Is that on Amazon
like a bookstore?
Wow, never found those books before. Okay,
actually, Barnes and Noble's right here in town. They still actually have one, and they're fun to go to because I'm old school. I don't like the tablet. I want to flip those pages.
Well,
I want to feel that book. So what I do is I'll get at first, you read, and then all of a sudden it's got your whole imagination. It's got your whole, and pretty soon you look up and you go, man, I've been reading for an hour, and I just took a mental break from all my other stuff. Turn your phone on to silent, get into your own little space, and boom, read.
Now, my wife, whenever we travel, it's kind of a tough thing to get me on the airplane. I get freaked out because I'm always sitting next to a guy next to me who always wants to occupy all of my physical space.
Why? It's always the case with me.
It's a leaner. He always wants to lean.
Oh my gosh! And
he's not a toothbrusher. He doesn't brush his teeth, and he wants to kind of lean.
Out.
And and then as they kind of are passing around the beverage cart, they're like, does anybody want? If they say, attention passengers, if you would like a adult beverage or yada yada, there's $5. Or if you would like a yada yada, we'll be coming around shortly. And you go up there, and then I'm getting I get motion sickness. And I'm afraid of confined spaces, and I just don't like the idea of sitting next to a person.
Did you drink them out of their cranberry and vodka again?
I did not, but my wife was able to get audio of me talking to the person next to her on the plane.
Oh,
and so she taped the call without my permission,
good.
but I'm going to play it for you live on the air. So Thrivers, here we go.
Fingernail sensitivity. Pelvic discomfort.
I'm explaining to my neighbor.
So the real question is, what is the crisis, Bob? What is it that you are truly afraid of?
What if my heart stops beating? What if I'm looking for a bathroom, I can't find it, and my bladder explodes?
That's basically how I feel on the plane. I'm not kidding. I went into the public restroom on the plane, and the thing is like the smallest space in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And just for a moment, it wouldn't open. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
And I'm trying to get out, and I guess there's a guy standing on the other side. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I guess he was leaning on it. And just for a moment, I don't know if you get claustrophobic, dude, but just for a moment, I'm like, yeah. And it's just the scariest thing for me. Traveling freaks me out
Were
every
your
time.
fingernails sensitive at that point?
Yes, I'm still, and then my ears don't pop for like 2 days later. I've just got a whole series of calamities there. But anyway, I made it back.
But you made it though.
We had a great time, and now we're getting back into the questions.
What was the high point of the trip, by the way?
The kids really loved the wave runners. We did at St. Pete Beach. My son loved that. My wife topped out at almost 70 miles an hour. I went to 45, but she just, when she came back, it was like, yeah, I went 68 and 69. I'm like, really? So she impressed the kids with her need for speed. And then we had just a lot of great seafood, awesome seafood. And the kids, they had a wonderful time at the beach. We went up and down the coast. We went north a little bit and south a little bit each day to different beaches. And north of St. Pete Beach, there's huge waves, just big waves. There's a lot of waves.
Boom, boom.
It was
Did you do
awesome.
any
Man.
surfing?
We did not do any surfing, and because on my body I naturally repel light. I was able to I was not able to repel any burns, keep myself completely covered with sunscreen lotion, so I made it back in time.
You should have worn one of those little like sun outfits, like the sun shirts.
I did wear a hood. I did wear a hoodie. I did wear a hoodie many times.
Oh, well then there you go. See, that's good.
No burns, baby.
No burn-free zone.
So here is the question for you. This is the Thriver asks this. Brandon asks. He says, how much of my gross sales is appropriate to contribute to set aside for payroll, paying people? So let's just say $100,000 comes in this year of gross revenue. How much should he set aside as a percentage to pay his people? What's a fair number?
I try to tell people to shoot around that 25% mark. What's your coaching? Tell them, Clay.
Well, Andrew Carnegie, in his book, A Gospel of Wealth, he talks about this, and he's talking about it in general terms. And this was pre-tax that we have today. I mean, the business taxes today are outrageous by, if you're looking at other countries and what the taxes are, I mean, we have very high tax rates here. But he advised that you take a third of the money and you set it aside for profit. A third you set it aside to pay your people. And a third you set it aside to improve your product or to make your product. So a third for the product, a third for the people, a third for profit.
Yeah.
I'd say really it's about 25% now, though, because there's just so many
more taxes on it. Yeah, you got it because what you pay them, then you have to pay Uncle Sam his fair portion too. So remember that 25 to 30% was probably the number on there. And one thing you've got to realize too is that and you got to stick to that. That's where you want to be. It's kind of like my manager came to me one day and said, "Hey, I've got $30 to spend. Do you want me to get 2 $15 an hour employees or 3 $10 an hour employees?" And I said, well, that's a conundrum.
That is a conundrum.
And you've got to figure it out.
They have to figure it out?
Yeah.
You're going to empower your people to think on their own? What?
I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I said, the only person I'm kind of concerned about is you. Whether, I look at the bottom line, look at the stuff. And so she was like, well, she was really debating that. Do I get 2 better people at $15 an hour? Or do I get just 3 at $10 an hour, because it's a different level of person you get.
We asked the same question to Bill Belichick, and we said, what percentage should we set aside?
Almost made it an hour.
And we're talking in Bill, he says, here's the deal, guys. What you do is just hire 2 people for the job that normally would require 4 people, and then this is what you need to tell your team. He says, he said, you'd be amazed what someone could accomplish in a 95-hour work week. He says, Clay, do you remember the guys? I mean, think about the guys who built the pyramids. And I'm like, slaves? And he's like, yeah, but I mean, they got it all done. I mean, it's very low cost of labor. But no, seriously, Thrivers, you want to keep to about a 25 to 33% percentage to set aside for payroll. We come back, more answers to questions from great Thrivers like you. Stay tuned. Thrivetimeshow.com.
Let's take some raw eggs right now. I feel like it. All right.
For the professional-looking man out there, this is for you. Are you tired of waiting for hours in disorganized barbershops around town? Are you maybe looking for an upscale haircut experience instead of being treated like a little kid? If either of these thoughts crossed your mind, then Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is for you. The Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is proud to offer a variety of packages and memberships for discerning men and regular customers who wish to maintain their tailored look while receiving discounts off of services and products. They're going to bring you in, they'll offer you a beverage, identify your style that you're going for, get you a tailored haircut from one of the professional stylists, wash your hair, and then style it afterwards so you could even go back to work. The experience is awesome. They even do cool things for members like a free nape shave on Mondays or a peppermint oil scalp massage on Tuesday. Check out one of the locations near you and book an appointment. You can check them out at eitrlounge.com or just dial 918-877-2219. Seriously, you're going to love it. 918-877-2219 or visit eitrlounge.com to book an appointment today.
Thrive Nation. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. If you are tired of worrying and you just want to be happy, today is the show for you because we are answering the questions sent to us by you in the Thrive15.com box that rocks. We're answering all the questions that you have. We're all about business school without the BS. And yes, my name is Clay Clark, the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, sent here on a mission to make your wallet grow, and joined here as always with the co-host, with the mo-host, Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you doing?
You know, I don't know that we've kind of broke down our last in-person workshop that much since we've had it. You know, it's been, a little over a week now that we've had it, but it was so much fun. I tell you what, I showed up and I did an hour of just taking questions, and some really great questions were asked. And were we filming all that?
You're gonna make me now spill the beans like I'm a bad customer at Oklahoma Joe's. You're gonna make me spill the beans here. Here's the deal.
Oh no, don't spill the beans. Just eat them gingerly.
Well, one, Thrivers, this is a little homework for you. Hop on your phone and type in Thrive 15 conference reviews. We filmed a ton of video testimonials and just awesome feedback. And the thing that's fun about our workshops is each workshop gets more and more detailed because we base the entire curriculum based upon your feedback. You know, answers to real questions that you have. And it's 2 days. It's 15 hours of power. And boy, oh boy, we have an exciting announcement for all the Thrivers right now. Very, very exciting announcement.
Do I have my drum roll? Sam, did you ever give me my drum roll?
I have right now. I have
a drum roll.
I have an incredible sound that can maybe work for us. Here we go. All right, there's a lot of excitement. Here we go. This is the deal, Thrivers. Moving forward, Thrive15.com, due to the number of Thrivers we now have on the platform, your first month is $1. And check it out, Thrivers. Check it out. If you are a Thrive15.com member, that will include your workshop plus the 25, so just $25 extra for your workbook and all the accoutrements that we're going to give you there. So if you just sign up today, you go to thrivetimeshow.com. Your first month at thrivetimeshow.com, or you can go to thrive15.com. Go to thrive15.com. You can sign up for your first month of the world's best business school. It's $1, and it includes the in-person workshop. So it's a laser show.
Okay, so I'm just now listening to the podcast. I'm just turned on my radio, and I'm just some of my friends have been talking about the show, so I'm listening to it because I'm thinking about maybe starting a business. And okay. So, all right, here's Clay and Dr. Z, and these guys have done a little bit of successful stuff. They know what they're talking about. But why on earth do I want to go to Thrive15.com and spend my hard-earned money to get what's on that website? What's so magical about that website, Clay Clark?
Well, there's I'd say four things I would point out to you. One is we had a Thriver from Nashville named Dr. J, not the basketball player, but he's a chiropractor. He came here, he sat right up front, and basically, if I'm summarizing the feedback we got, was I learned more in 2 days than I've learned in my entire 20 years of being in business. And you guys even took me out to lunch. He's like, it just was unbelievable. So for him, and if you Google Thrive 15 conference reviews, I'm sure you can see his video testimonial or the stuff he wrote. That was huge. Move number 2 is we answer the questions that you have at the workshop. So it's kind of weird. In between breaks where other people could be going on break or could be doing whatever, I'm walking around answering your questions. And so we had a Thriver named Yogi, came here from California, and he flew all the way here, flies in, stays at the casino, and he says, man, you guys are like answering all my questions. I learned all the SEO and social media marketing. Reason number 3, which is fun, is you're going to meet people just like you. And I know being an entrepreneur can make you feel alone sometimes, where you just go, is there anybody else who understands what it's like to get up at 6 a.m. and work until 6 p.m. every day? I mean, we have a rent house, and I remember the renter, he said to me last week, he says, this is a funny statement. He goes, man, I've been really busy. I've had to work 3 12-hour days in a row. And I didn't say it, but I thought to myself, I don't remember when I was starting my business what it was like to not work 12-hour days. I work 12-hour days every day, 6 or 7 days a week.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, some people need, it's nice to meet people who can relate and empathize to your story and what you're going through. And the fourth thing, it's really exciting, is that we give you access to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of downloadables and templates. I mean, performa templates, design templates. You and I have already ran through the landmine, the minefield of business. We've already found what works and what doesn't, and we're giving you our playbook. So when you come to the workshop, we give you all the templates, and we give you a copy of the Boom Book, which includes our 13 proven super moves to grow a successful business. And so it's all included there for you, and it's $1 for your first. I mean, why would you not do it? It's $1 for your first month to check out Thrive15.com.
I don't know. I tell you what, because then after that, it's going to jump all the way up to, $19. I think the guys are trying to do a bait and switch on me. I think they're... this whole thing sounds a little fishy, so...
I was looking up the number one reasons why, the number one ways that Americans waste their money. You can find the article on USA Today. And I'm going to read you some of the things. The average American is spending over $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year on coffee, just random coffee.
Really, $1,000, the average person?
Yeah, you got to look up this stuff. As far as the amount of lottery tickets that are purchased, it's a very high number. You talk
about those are legit. Those are investments. I mean, that's somebody's got to win it.
Yeah. So if you're Thrivers, you're in your computer right now. Google how Americans waste their money. Okay, how waste their money, and then USA Today, and there is some just shocking. The article is called 20 Ways Americans Are Blowing Their Money. And when you get into it, I mean, wasted food, bad health habits, ATM fees. It's amazing how much money people are spending on ATM fees. Gambling.
$529 per person each year is what they estimate.
For the coffee?
No, for Americans' waste.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you have ATM fees. You have gambling. The average American is spending $400 per year on gambling, regardless of whether they can afford it or not. Tobacco, unused gift cards. That's a move, isn't it? Right there,
that's a dirty little move. I love it.
I have an Olive Garden gift certificate, an Olive Garden gift card I found in my wallet yesterday. We had some family over.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through for my credit card, and I go, that's an interesting thing. I grab it. It's like $57 is on it from however many years ago, and I'm like, let's use it.
Absolutely. I found a gift card the other day, and it had an expiration date on it. I go, well, they can't have an expiration date on it. It was for a nice restaurant. So I just went in, and I was like,
You did the move.
Acted like I didn't. Yeah, I just did the thing. You're like, oh, here's my gift. This gift card that was given to me. They're like, oh, that's great. Okay.
Unused gym memberships. People getting a membership and never going. Premium cable. This was crazy here though. Check it out. The average American that was surveyed about their coffee consumption are spending $1,092 per year on coffee. On just coffee trips, and then premium cable packages. So drivers, we're talking about a $19 a month investment in yourself, and you're kind of giving back, because when you buy a subscription to Thrive15.com, not only does that include tickets for you and one other person to our in-person workshops, it also includes free access for a member of the United States military, retired, active duty, reserve. It's included for them. So I'm just telling you what, you got to check it out. It's $1 for your first month. It is Thrive15.com, the world's best business school and business school without the BS. And here's a question from a Thriver Z.
All right,
they said, how much of my gross sales should I be contributing to my insurance? What percentage of my gross sales should I be setting aside for my insurance? I'm especially passionate about this question, by the way.
You are?
I am.
Well, then I'll give you first dibs.
Well, what happens is, if you've ever bought workers' comp insurance, so elephant in the room, we're basically about 80 people strong now. Okay, so there's about 80 people who make it possible.
Well, you guys are really growing that well.
We are. We're very close to. We're going to be opening a WASO, I think, in the next 65 days. And so so what happens is, when the people work there, if there's 7 employees, 10 employees, 15 employees, when you sign up for a workers' comp insurance policy, your agent will typically say, well, this is how much you owe, and it's a percentage of your payroll. I'm just making up a number, but if your payroll is $100,000 a month, then X percentage of it is required to be paid for insurance premiums based upon your estimated risk.
Oh, yeah.
So the move the guy will do is he'll typically call and go, how are sales? And you're like, oh, sales are great. Well, how's payroll going? Oh, it's awesome. And they'll go, oh, well, how many people do you have there now? And if you have any growth at all, that number goes up, the amount you're paying in insurance. And so I would just say this, Thrivers, you want to buy enough insurance so that you can buy a bad day and not a bad life when bad things happen.
Ooh, Say that again.
You want to buy enough insurance so that you can afford to buy a bad day and not a bad life. So as an example, everybody listening to this show today, I hate to be negative, but something bad's going to happen to you or your business at some point if you stay in business long enough.
Negative. He's so negative.
And when something bad happens, wouldn't it be nice to know that, hey, I had a fire, and that's terrible, but you know what? My insurance company is going to cover all of it, and we'll be back in business at a new location ASAP. Or we can get things renovated ASAP.
Yeah, I had a water line break there in one of my offices just about 6 months ago.
Oh, nice.
And I had to shut down the business.
Shut it down.
I had to redo all the flooring. We were shut down for about 3 days, and it was really sad. But I am so glad I had insurance.
You had a bad day.
I had a bad day, bad 3 days actually. And then I got the check in the mail, and you know what? Smile on my face.
Now, Thrivers, check out Oklahoma Joe's during the break and Thrive15.com, the world's best business school. It is now only $1 for your first month.
Okay, managing your money has not been easier. Mint.com is the solution to ambiguous and blind money management. You can effortlessly create budgets that are easy to stick to, or even use one that they make for you. Design budgets that are appropriate for now and put you in position to succeed in the future. Get notifications for weird account charges and receive personalized tips for eliminating fees and saving more money. Check your credit with a free credit score and explore what you can do to improve it to be able to purchase the things that you really want later. Link up the app on your phone, and money management on the go has never been easier. You can even link up your portfolio accounts so you can see your bank accounts and stock values side by side. Mint.com, you got to go check it out, and you can sign up for free. Again, that's mint.com, mint.com. Go sign up right now. It's definitely a game changer for money management.
Thrive Nation, welcome back into the Dojo of Mojo Faux Show. My name is Clay Clark, the co-host of the Thrivetime Show, and we are honored to be here with you, still marinating in that afterglow, Z, of Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, she was at the BOK Center on Monday night, 2 nights ago, and kind of makes you want to break out a little some Stevie Nicks tunes.
I have a question for you. Before we get into the mailbag questions from the great Thrive Nation here.
So you've got a question before the question.
It's a question before the question.
Okay,
yeah.
Just check.
So it's kind of like when a CNN reporter asks Donald Trump a question.
Yeah.
They have a question, but a question behind that question.
And then there's an implied question that's really the question.
Which is which leaves everyone feeling questionable.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I want to ask this. As a card-carrying, I don't know if you get a card for this, but as a card-carrying member of the BOK box seat club or VIP, the suite club, whatever that is.
The suite club, yeah.
How does that make you feel? I mean, do you feel like a winner chicken dinner? How does it make you feel? Do you wake up every day going, I'm an elite member of this prestigious club? Wow.
Well, and it also makes me think that, every time they open the doors, I have access. I can get in there. They can't keep me out. Well, I guess they can, but I've only been tossed out of. No, not there. I haven't been tossed out of there yet.
I would like
It's really been fun. It's really been fun, and it's been a good use of marketing dollars to get that skybox because, I kind of have 3 different categories of businesses that I do. I have my eyes, I have my sleep, if you would, empire, and then I over here my cars stuff. And so it's kind of nice to be able to, my salespeople and my people would say, hey, listen, you want to go see Stevie Nicks in the Skybox tonight? Well, here's a couple of tickets.
I have a Skybox story for you that pseudo involves me.
Yeah?
Skybox story. One of our partners for Elephant in the Room, the men's grooming lounge, he also owns OxyFresh, the carpet cleaning franchise.
Yeah, I've made him. Nice
He's
guy.
a Victory Christian Center graduate, neat guy. I went to Oral Roberts University, played basketball there. And John has a luxury box there in the Pepsi Center for where the Nuggets play.
Oh, okay.
And it is the super move. When someone flies into Denver to think about buying a franchise and they get a chance to go see Justin Bieber in concert or something, they love that stuff, man. Apparently it's the move.
It's the move, and it's something nice you can do. And here again, you're out there marketing, and you're trying to differentiate your business from another. And so, everybody wants to say, everybody wants to do this. Everybody wants to take business and break it down. And they want to say, listen, It's nothing personal. It's just business, you see. I needed that thing over this thing, and I need you to do that.
See, let me ask you this. What percentage of my gross revenue should I set aside for Skybox? The rocks, you know what I mean? How much of my revenue should I set aside for the lead pipes? And how much for the Skybox?
It's an investment back into your business. But what happens is that everybody always wants to say, hey. It's just dollars and cents. If it makes sense, I'm going to do it. Friendships don't matter. It's just about the numbers.
Just about the numbers.
It's nothing personal.
Nothing
it's
personal.
Just business. BS.
BS. Preach it, baby.
BS. Listen, I tell you what, it's all personal. People want to do business with people that they're getting along with that they like. So be likable, and if you can throw them a couple of tickets to your Skybox, there you go. Boom, bada boom. Because I'll tell you what, if you're the guy that's really nice to them, and some other dude is trying to get their business and is not really nice to them, and you guys are close to the same price, so we're not talking about a big financial decision here, who do you think they're going to go with?
I'm going to go with the guy that they like.
Exactamundo.
Now,
so don't think that that's the case. It is business. It's personal.
See, I have a notable quotable question for you that it ties into what you're saying here, because this is, I think that what you just said was not at all related to it's one thing I love about the show is that sometimes you get these little bonus nuggets of knowledge, and you just talked about how you have to be likable. And Daniel Goleman is a best-selling author, and when I read his book called Emotional Intelligence, it helped me quite a bit. I mean, it was one of those deals where you go, I definitely am a different person as a result of that book than I was before. And I'm going to read you the notable quotable, and I want to see if you can unpack it for us here.
Did it make you less robotic?
Yes, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because I think we all have to be aware of our Achilles heel, and self-awareness is so key, knowing what you aren't good at. And he says this. He says, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships and have, and it says no matter how smart you are, you're not going to get very far. Oh.
That's very true. And what happens is if you don't have that empathy and if you're not putting in those other relationships, if it's all one-sided, then it's almost a little bit of like a narcissism. It's almost I'm important, you're not important, I don't empathize with you, get out of my way. I mean, all that kind of stuff can lead down that road towards narcissism if you're not careful.
Okay, I'm going to push back here.
Okay.
So the business, you've said it many times on the show.
Okay.
You said that the point of the business is to serve you.
Yes.
And so if the point of the business is to serve you.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm listening to the show and I'm going, okay, I take notes and I'm listening to this a lot. And you're saying, the point of the business is to serve me. Okay, I got that. So then what is, narcissism is sort of by definition. I'm going to do the definition of narcissist here real quick. Let me just pull up the definition. I don't want to. It says this: a person who has an excessive interest or admiration for themselves.
Correct.
So how do you put the business...
And keep going, because it'll talk about the not having empathy for other people.
So how do you put... Let me pull this up here. I'm going to pull this up here from Webster, because nobody knows definitions like my main man Webster. I mean, he's been... Do you remember that? Remember Webster in the 80s? Remember Webster?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
That's the guy who writes all the definitions.
I know. He's so smart.
Okay, this is what he says here. He says... well, I don't know if that's... He says egotism. This is what Webster says. Love or sexual desire of one's own body?
Okay, that's a
little bit weird. That's a little bit.
Get off.
I don't know what
that one.
Webster. I mean,
well, they have multiple. There's multiple meanings.
Sorry about that. Webster just his mind in the gutter all the time.
Go back to the 80s.
Okay, so I'm just asking though, how do I balance making a business that serves me and being somebody who's not a narcissist? How do I do it?
Oh, that right there is the conundrum.
Oh,
and that's the challenge. That's how you make it to where it's all about you, and yet nobody feels like it's all about you. Does that make sense?
I think that's why Justin Bieber wrote the song "What Do You Mean," is because he's just going, I don't know how to build a business to serve me and not become a narcissist. So I'm going to tattoo every inch of my body while I just ponder. That's what he's asking.
I'm going to tattoo it about me. I'm going to put me on me. I'm going to get more of me.
I want to ask you, so seriously, how do you do it? Because I think a lot of people, there's two kinds of entrepreneurs I see. There's one on one side who says, I'm going to let my employees run all over me, do whatever they want, take advantage of me. I'm going to work crazy hours to serve every customer, every employee until there's nothing left for me. And there's somebody else on the other side who's a complete narcissist and who's all about themselves, and it's like a diva of entrepreneurship.
Well, here's what you've got to do. And Clay, you said this so well just a little bit ago. And if you've missed any of this, folks, you can always go to thrivetimeshow.com where we put every show up as a podcast. We're on show around 140 now or so. So you can, trust me, there's plenty to listen to. If you don't have anything to do on a rainy Saturday night, we've got you.
We've got 280 hours of downtime. We've got you covered.
We got you covered.
All right.
We got you covered. So what happens is you said it earlier in the show, and you said, listen, guys got to be in touch with themselves, and they have to know their strengths and their weaknesses. All right? Okay, now follow me on that. So that's part of it. And one of the strengths you have is there's going to be a handful of people around you, little entrepreneurs out there, big entrepreneurs will say, there's going to be a handful of people around you that can speak plainly into your life, that aren't going to be there trying to sell you something, that aren't going to be sitting there, they're not your Uncle Jimmy trying to get a piece of your business, so he's going to tell you he's going to blow smoke, up your skirt. And these people can really talk into your life. I remember back in the day, I'll just be honest with you, I'm just going to pull back the curtain just a little bit here.
Going back in the day.
Back in the day, when I started advertising a lot on the radio, it was me on the radio, and the name of my business is my name. So that can just kind of set you up for that, for people going, oh, that's you, oh, that's you, oh, that's you.
That's
all
you.
right?
You're the guy.
And so since my name phonetically looks different than it sounds,
right?
All right? You don't pronounce the O, so it's Zellner, but you see the O, and people are always mispronouncing it. I just went by the acronym of Dr. Z.
Dr. Z.
So this personality came out of me that was Dr. Z.
Boom!
And so like on this show right now, it's Dr. Z. But every now and then, my daughter would say, we'd be doing some activity or doing something, and every now and then she would look at me and give me that look and say, Dad? I need Dad, not Dr. Z.
Holy cow!
Okay, so you have kind of a pseudo personality, almost like a stage name. You really are like Justin Bieber.
I don't have any tattoos though. Hey, Sam, give me some henna. I'm gonna start doing some henna tattoos so I can.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, let me get. Just
what'll happen is your spouse, your kids, your buddies, people that are close to you, if you allow them to and encourage them to, they will look at you and say, "Hey, okay, enough. All right, okay, you're getting a little too big for your pants. Knock it down a notch. It's going to be okay."
See, you bleached your hair blonde and you've shaved one side of it, and you now have a series of neck tattoos that are growing. I'm sure you're doing fine.
I'm sure you're doing fine.
I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not going to say one thing.
Okay, so but seriously though, so you have people that kind of keep you grounded, keep you humble.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you have to do. And a lot of times, people sometimes they just get so big, they try to get rid of those people in their life because they don't want to hear that. That's unfortunate. But as you're growing that business and success happens, sometimes you can get, it's just a little overwhelming. I mean, all of a sudden you've got money that you spend that you didn't have. You've got time to use that you didn't have before, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So make sure you keep a good grounded foot on those that are close to you that can speak plain truths in your life and say, "Hey, listen, you're getting a little big for your pants."
Getting a little bit weird. All right, now here's the deal, Thrivers. We have another question here. Another question from Brandon, our Thriver, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He says, what percentage of my gross revenue should I contribute to the cost of goods sold? Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but basically here's the scenario. You got $100,000 coming in. What percentage of it should be set aside to actually produce the products and services that you sell?
Yeah, about a third. I would say about a third, but anywhere from, obviously the more clever it is, the more unique it is. Maybe you're first into the space, you can maybe charge a premium for it. But if you try to get too much profit out of it, then you know what happens?
What happens?
Well, you have to go down to the farmyard to find out what happens. And what happens is this. You see? Thrivers down on the farm, we got all kinds of stuff. We got tractors, barns, critters running around of all kinds. But one of my favorite critters is the pig. The pig. My number one rule in business is plain and simple. And that is, pigs get fat, hogs get butchered.
What do you mean by that, my friend?
That means don't be too greedy. In other words, if you are buying something for $1 and trying to sell it for $100, for instance, that's being greedy. Ooh. And you will not succeed with that.
That is being a guy at some malls, sure not in Oklahoma, who has come up with a product that might not work, who he's going to try to sell to you for 100 times what he paid for it. I've seen it all the time. It's a mall move. It's where you have
it's the mall move.
A really crappy product. You try to mark up times 100.
They've got a lot of room there for negotiations, but it's not the move. And then that's why those kiosks, always someone different in them every weekend.
Not a good move.
Not a good move. So the idea there is don't be greedy with your employees. In other words, pay them a fair wage or somebody else will. Don't be greedy in pricing your products. And so therefore, that's your cost of goods is right here. You can reverse engineer that. And we always say, you should always shoot for about 33% profit range.
Yeah, and the thing is, you obviously have been on the board of a bank before, but basically if you're going to grow your business, eventually you'll probably need to get a small business loan, or you might want to sell the business, or you might want to hire people, you might want to grow. And if you're not making about a 25 to 35% profit in there, you just won't have enough money to grow. So you've got to make sure you're operating at about a 25 to 35% profit. But don't be crazy and try to mark it up 25 times and try to convince America that it's a good deal.
Yeah, exactly. Because you see here, this show is about, we really focus more on the for-profit businesses and not the non-profit businesses. Does that make sense?
Is that ethical?
I think it is.
Stay tuned. Thrivetimeshow.com.
This show's episode is brought to you by Moz.com. If you have ever considered the World Wide Web as a viable strategy for your business, you gotta check out this tool. Online marketing is complicated, but Moz software makes it easy. Companies like 99 Designs, Otterbox, and Aaron's, they all use Moz because it works. Explore organic search keywords for your business, research Bing and Google search results for your targeted keywords, and link up Moz Local and Google My Business. Seriously, this tool is crazy powerful with the clarity it brings to online marketing for your business. Even if you're just curious, start a 30-day trial with Moz.com today. It's a game changer for your business. Moz.com, MOZ.com.
Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show. See, I feel like my brain's going to explode. There's an energy in here. There's excitement.
Oof, I tell you what, it's a Wednesday. It's an exciting hump day. I tell you what, I'm ready to get started.
Okay, here we go, Thrivers. We have some questions coming in 90 miles an hour, coming in hot from great people like you. Brandon asked the question. He says, how much of my gross revenue should I contribute to the cost of goods sold? If you just missed it, what he's talking about is, hey, listen, if I'm bringing in $100,000 and let's say that I make custom counters, how much of the $100,000, the total money coming in, should be set aside to produce those counters, those products, those services? And what Z and I are telling you, and hopefully this makes sense, is no matter what you're spending after paying your team, after advertising, after all your expenses, you've got to somehow find a way to make about a 30% profit, if at all possible. You really, really want to do that. And I also want to over-clarify this. When you start out in business, nobody wants to work with you. You don't have any testimonials. You don't have any references. There's all the momentum is going against you. They're going, well, how long have you been in business? Several weeks. I mean, so it's scary. So you might have to do some deep discounting and do some no-brainer ads, which we teach you how to make at our Thrivetime workshops. You might have to do some very aggressive ads to start and maybe be very comfortable with making a very low profit on those first couple hundred deals.
Yes, and if you come to one of our in-person workshops, or if you get on Thrive15.com, we can also give you a couple little secret moves.
Secret moves.
Secret moves, and the secret moves are this, is that you may not have any testimonials, but I bet that your mom, maybe your dad.
People that know you.
Maybe your dad's best friend.
This is what we did, Elephant in the Room.
Maybe
5 years ago.
Maybe your old college roommate.
Z, I'm telling you, 5 years ago, this is what we did. We did this move.
Okay. Break it down for them, because they're kind of going, what are you talking about, your dad, your mom, and your college
People
roommate?
were not willing to come in for a haircut at Elephant in the Room. Even $1 seemed like too much if you could get a bad haircut.
Right.
So, as an example, we have not. Are you super loyal to your barber? Is that what's going on? Do you have a certain loyalty to this person?
No, I bounce around all over town.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a bouncer.
at some point, bro, we got to get you in.
Oh
there.
yeah, I want to come in and try it. Now that you got the new one open up downtown, I want to check it out.
Yeah. So
Where
here's
is
the deal.
that one, by the way?
17th in Boston.
Oh, so you
right
moved
next
the
to
block
Burn
up.
Co. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right where the action is, right there.
Wow.
We expanded
Yeah.
from 7 chairs to 10 chairs.
Wow.
Significantly bigger. We've already grown on memberships by almost 15% just in a week because everyone wanted, before it was like harder to get in. We always had kind of a waiting list. And so we just called the people who wanted to get in that we couldn't accommodate. And now we're growing. We've got a room for a little bit more growth at downtown. And then primarily our growth will be in Owasso. We'll be opening a new one there soon. The problem is we sell memberships. And so we can only, with our online school, we can have thousands and thousands of people up there. But with the elephant in the room, we're physically putting your body in a chair and we're cutting your hair. And so it requires some physical space to do that. So it's kind of a max per location. But all I would say is no one wanted to get their hair cut even for free. And so I went to Kirk Fryer. And by the way, if you're listening right now and you're needing insurance, call Kirk Fryer at 392-4000. That's 392-4000. He's the head guru for Farmers District 10, Farmers Insurance. And I'm like, Kirk, you got to come in there, dude, for your free haircut. And he's like, I don't know. Come on, Kirk. Come on in there for a free haircut. And he cares about the way he looks. He's a handsome man. I talked to my own dad. I said, Dad, you got to come in for a free haircut. And it's like, I don't know. And here's the question they always ask. Well, who else is going?
Yeah.
And finally, I pull out the old
move.
guilt move, the puppy dog move. Maybe you did this when you were growing your optometry clinic. But I go, come on, I'm your own son. You got to get in there, get your haircut. Kirk, you're renting space from the same building we're in. You owe it to us as a fellow tenant. Get in there and cut that mop.
Oh, yeah.
And reluctantly, they go in very almost scared, like, am I going to end up with a mangled mop? And then they left pleasantly surprised that their hair looked good. And then we said, would you write a review and share with the world about your experience? And this kept happening. And now we have, I don't think we have 500 reviews yet, but in aggregate, I think we have about 400 reviews for Elephant in the Room. Mm-hmm. And it is growing by leaps and bounds. But see, you got to get those first customers through the door, man.
You got to get, and you may have to wheel and deal on them. And you family, friends, get those reviews out there, kind of get a little bit of a digital trail, if you will, of positivity. And then it's not so scary to try to go out there and land your first fish.
We had a thriver that asked this other question. This is an unnamed thriver, okay? But I'm going to read this question to you.
And they will remain unnamed.
Well, some thrivers, don't want to put their name on it. Some people do. So here's the question there. Right. They said, what if I don't want to get known as a discounter to get people through the door? What if I don't want to be known as a discounter to get people through the door? I guess I'm being known as offering cheap prices. And I have some live audio for what you told them on the phone here, so I'm going to cue that up real quick here.
Oh, good. You taped that too.
I'm taping everything at all times. I work directly with the governments of foreign countries, primarily Russia. I tape everything.
So, that's good.
Yeah, here we go.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, my God.
You can't handle the truth.
He said it twice. So, Z, I want to ask you, if someone's going, I don't want to be known as a discounter. I don't want to be known as a cheap person. I don't want to offer crazy aggressive deals, but I don't have any customers. What would you say?
I would say you've got to do the no-brainer offer. No-brainer offers don't dictate your whole business. A perfect example is Elephant in the Room, the business you're just talking about. Your first haircut's $1. But are they known? Once you go in there, you buy a membership, and then you have a premium and experience, and then you pay $37 for a haircut?
An average right now about $35, $37.
Yeah, and that's not a discounted price. I mean, that's a ultra high. That's a more high end. But the thing about it is, you're kind of like, I don't know about that place. So the no-brainer gets them in the door, so you can wow them and keep them around and keep them a customer.
And the only time you shouldn't do a no-brainer is if your product is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being serious though.
You're right. Yeah. Free enchiladas. You're like.
So I want to give you an example. When I was in Florida here with my family here this past weekend, we're in Florida and there's this neat little restaurant, and they said, would you like some samples of some shrimp? So my wife's out there on the wave runners. I'm taking one of the kids to the bathroom, and so I'm just waiting, and I'm like, yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was great. And so guess where I had dinner? Over there at the place, right there right there.
You probably ate shrimp again.
We did. There's a wonderful Italian restaurant right there in again St. Pete Beach. This wonderful place there, right off the wharf, right off the harbor there. Again, they're offering free samples of pizza, those breadsticks. You have a sample. Next thing you know, guess where you're going to go eat? Free ice cream samples. We ate every place that gave us a free sample because it was so good.
Well, and that's the move. And did that make them cheaper? Did you think, well, these guys they're having to give away their food? Apparently, they're no good.
I'm still judging them. No, but seriously, and it was an expensive meal. It was fine dining. It was nice food right there on the waterfront. Beautiful look out over the bay, the area. But I'm telling you what, they had to get us in. So if you're listening right now, that could be the breakthrough for somebody.
Right, and just to reiterate once again is that the no-brainer deal to get them in your door doesn't define you. Now, if you want to be a discounter, then define yourself as a discounter once they get there. But don't think that doing a no-brainer deal, a buy one, get one, a $1 first time, a free first time, here's a free sample. I mean, all those kinds of things. Don't think that's going to define your business. The business is going to get defined when they walk in that door and see everything that you got going on.
Now, Thrivers, when we come back, we have a great question from another Thriver who asked this question. They say, how do I get started with my Dream 100, which is basically a consistently marketing to a laser-focused group of ideal and likely buyers? What is my first step? What does the outline look like when I actually get in front of my decision maker? All great questions. We're going to learn how to do precision-focused marketing to your ideal and likely buyers when we come back. ThriveTimeShow.com.
Right now, how are you taking credit card payments for your business? It's never been faster or easier to begin taking credit card payments for your business than with Square. You know the little white square that plugs into your phone's headphone jack? It's awesome. This payment app is great for businesses such as food trucks, beauty salons, and retail shops. The users receive a small portable card reader that they can attach to a phone or other mobile device to take fast and convenient payments. The way it works is that it subtracts 2.75% of every time a card is run, and it does it automatically. So if you sell a sandwich for $20, you'll see a net gain of $19.45 in your bank account the next day. If you enter the card by hand, it costs 3.5% plus 15 cents on top of that. They encrypt everything so you know you're secure. They make it super clear to start and even offer bonuses for sharing with friends. So you can learn more at squareup.com. It's free to download and works on all devices and operating systems. So make sure that you go visit squareup.com.
T-Town, welcome back to the Profound Get Down. My name is Clay Clark, the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, recovering disc jockey and co-host here, joined with the man, the myth, the guy who went from being an optometrist to becoming a successful entrepreneur, tycoon / auto auction. Just would you call yourself a mogul of auto auctions? I mean, would you call yourself a tycoon? Would you call yourself the baron of auto auctions? Would you call yourself a megalomaniac of auto auctions? Is that really what you want me to say?
I would not call myself any of those things.
Oh, okay.
But I just goes to show you that all this is very doable. And while you're out there listening to the show, this show is all about you chasing your dreams, starting that business that you've had, deep down inside for years. You're thinking, how can I do it? What are my steps to doing it? Do I got to stop what I'm doing and go back to business school? Do I got to spend $100,000 and go to Wharton Business School up in wherever Wharton is? Do I got to go to Harvard Business School to be equipped to start a business? And the answer is no. Clay approached me a couple, 3 years ago and said, hey, listen, I have been business coaching and I'm doing pretty good at it. So I kind of researched it. I was like, wow, he is doing pretty good at it. And he said, you know what? Let's scale this. Let's find guys out there and ladies in the world and let's film them and let's mine all the secrets out of their brain about business. And they all have different areas of expertise. So we call them mentors on Thrive15.com. And then we videotaped them. We chopped it up into about 15-minute videos. Everyone's not exactly 15 minutes, but
some are 16 minutes. It's unethical how you would do that. Cut it beyond 15.
And then what we did is we made it kind of like a Netflix subscription model where your first month is $1. There's no excuse not to try it. That's it. One. No trickery. $1 first month.
Do you know who Thrive 15 is not for? I've thought about this long and hard.
Okay, well,
because we had a person who came up to me at the workshop, and they came up to me and said, "This is exactly what I have been looking for." And then there's other people who go, you know what, this is not for me. So I'm going to read you off a list of the people that this would be for. So what happens is in America today, there are many professions that you have to have a license or a certification before you can even get into the game. Optometry is one.
Yeah, for example.
You can't just be an optometrist because you're passionate
about
the human.
It was a long weekend in Puerto Rico, young man. That was a long one.
I know so much about the eyeball after watching it on YouTube. No, but but you can't get into the game.
Right.
But once you're in the game, now you're going, oh no, I only know about the human eyeball. I have no idea how to grow a business. Right. And so in other industries, don't require a license. But I'm going to read you off a list of people who have done pretty well without a college degree. Are you okay if I read off this list here?
I go right at it.
These are just a few entrepreneurs, a few successful people who are struggling without a degree.
All right.
Abraham Lincoln.
He's on my $5 bills.
Yeah, he struggled. A.P. Giannini, that's the guy who started Bank of America.
They're kind of a big deal.
You know, Andrew Carnegie, the world's second wealthiest man during his lifetime.
Yeah, I think who was wealthier than him? I thought he was the wealthiest.
John Rockefeller.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, boy.
Benjamin Franklin, the founder of the Skullet.
Oh, I mean, I tell you what, there's a lot of business up front, but trust me, a lot of party in the back.
His hair said, "I don't care."
Unbelievable!
I mean, oh wow. Yeah. Bill Gates. Do you know Bill Gates? This is the way. So the guy who basically founded the modern electricity industry. GE. The guy who goes out there and that's Thomas Edison. Bill Gates, who starts the modern software industry.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, modern hardware. A.P. Giannini, the founder of the modern banking systems we have. They all didn't have a degree, but I thought you had to have. But the thing is, they have practical knowledge. They're not a bunch of morons who've read 1/10 of a book and just sort of hacking their way through. They actually took the time to study the specific moves and the action steps that they needed to take to go from poverty to prosperity. So if you want to learn the specific skills needed to move beyond just paying the bills, if you want to go beyond surviving and you actually want to begin thriving, then what you need to do is you need to go to Thrive15.com, because Thrive15.com is the world's best business school. If you are tired of being financially stuck.
Come on now.
If you're tired of running around at the end of the month just saying, what? How am I going to get some extra money?
Don't get cheap on me now. Cheap on me now.
If it is not funny for you to not have the money that you need and that your family deserves, you need Thrive15.com.
I deserve.
So way back in the day, Mills Lane said, let's get it on.
Oh, yeah.
Mills Lane, the famous boxing announcer. And I'm telling you, let's get it on. Let's go to Thrive15.com right now. And Z, I have the $1 challenge. It is $1.
What?
$1, and it includes a workshop experience. So it's a 2-day in-person workshops for those of you who like to learn face-to-face and with a group of people, and you can shake hands and ask questions. And there's no upsell guaranteed. Or if you just want to use the online education platform, or both, it's all there. It's Thrive15.com, the world's best business school, irrefutably the best. I'm just telling you what. And by the way, after your first month of $1, Z. We tricked them. It's actually how much?
$19, less than $20 a month. You spend more on coffee at Starbucks than you do on a weekend probably than that.
Yeah, well, just right now, USA Today is showing the average American is spending over $1,000 a year on coffee, from Starbucks, that kind of thing.
So just scale back that a little bit, and boom, there you go.
There it is. The money's there.
Hey, and the other thing too that is really kind of makes you feel good. This is a feel good story. Who doesn't like a feel good story, right?
I do like to feel good.
When you get your full subscription to Thrive15.com, guess what we do? We use the multiplier. We use that times 2. We go times 2. We get our calculator, go times 2. What we do is this. We give a free membership to a military personnel. They can be retired military. They can be active military. Because it's really kind of sad, the unemployment rate with our ex-military folks. And that's why our country's still free. That's why entrepreneurism is capitalism.
And I'll tell you
That's why we have the life we have, because of our servicemen.
I'll tell you this. The skills that you need to be successful in the military are 100%, from my experience, transferable into the world of business. If you can just be diligent and apply a proven system, you'll win in business. And you win in the military. That's how you do it. In the military, you've got to execute the system, the plan. And I'm telling you what, if you have that kind of diligence and discipline needed to protect our country, 1, we thank you. And 2, you would do very well in business. And so we're honored to answer your questions in today's mailbag. And here's a mailbag question from a Thriver who owns a calibration company. And this is what Nathan asks. When performing the Dream 100, what should the outline of the first call look like when trying to actually find out who the decision maker is? So let's say it's your auto auction, that your auto auction salespeople are trying to get in touch with a used car dealer or somebody who has a used car license. What does the first call look like when they begin reaching out to their 100 ideal and likely buyers?
Well, they first want to build some rapport. What they want to do is you've got to do your homework first.
Okay.
Here's the key.
Yep.
Do your homework first, and that way you don't look like an idiot. Do you guys sell cars there?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, how long? You guys been open for a while? These are all things you can find. Either they'll post it on their website. A lot of times they'll have their own website. You can get on. You can see what they're doing. Research is what I'm saying before you make the call.
Can I give you an idiot move?
Yeah, please do.
This is an idiot move you can do, and it works all the time.
Okay.
You go over to Walmart or Target, and you buy yourself one of those track phones. Sam, our producer, do you even know anything about these track phones? I mean, how much is a track phone? Like $50 a month? Whatever. You buy one, and it's a phone number you have for just like, a month.
Like a burner. It's a burner phone.
Yeah, and you just call it, and you go, boop, 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 and you go, hey, who's in charge of your administration and your HR over there? And they go, oh, that's Candace. Okay, thank you, bye. And you hang up, and you write down the name Candace next to that company. Hey, who's in charge of your staffing at this company? And then, thank you, bye. And you just keep finding the decision maker that you need, and you keep hanging up.
Yeah.
And then you call back later from your legit phone and you make the move. That's a way to populate the list if you can't find it. But most of this stuff is now accessible on the internet and Al Gore's interwebs.
You know who's coming to town tomorrow night, by the way?
I feel like every rose may have its thorn.
Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels!
The Joint.
Oh, wow.
Something I said, something I did my words not.
Are you looking to start or grow a business? Then you are definitely going to have problems and questions along the way. You will find the answers to all of your business questions at Thrive15.com. Thrive15.com provides online video-based business training taught by millionaires and successful entrepreneurs for less than $1 per day. That's less than your daily coffee budget. It's no classrooms, no get-rich-quick seminars. These are trainings broken into 15-minute segments that get you the answers that you need. It's business school without the BS. I dare you to try a 7-day free trial. Simply go to Thrive15.com, and the first 100 people will also receive a free downloadable for how to optimize your website. So stop wasting your time and money. Go to Thrive15.com and get your business questions answered now.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back into the conversation. We're playing some 80s for the ladies here on the Thrivetime Show. Z, I mean, this song goes out to all the ladies out there, all the mamas.
All the mamas, yeah.
All the soccer moms, all the full-time moms, all the ladies who are independent, all the ladies who are out there earning the income while your husband's sitting at home, wearing yoga pants, not holding down a job, just hanging out with the kids, all the women who are hustling, working hard, all the women who are still rocking perms, all the women who want to bring back that 80s perm. This music goes out to you.
Yeah, I mean, why did we let perms go?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, man. Well, see, I'm excited because this next question is very specific. It's from a Thriver who owns a calibration company. His name's Nathan. He says, when performing the Dream 100, what should the outline of the first call look like when trying to find who the actual decision maker is? So I'm going to recap our move here.
Yeah.
Move number one, you want to do the research and put that on an actual spreadsheet. And by the way, if you want to see the specifics, like if you want to see the system in person, one, you can come out to our in-person workshops. Our next one's coming up here. The dates are on thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com, and it's $1. It's $1. $1 for your first month. Why not? Check it out. It's a game changer, and we're here to help you. And by the way, there's no upsells, so check it out. Go to thrivetimeshow.com to learn more. But we'll teach you how to do it. But step one is you want to do the research. You want to populate that spreadsheet so you know who you're asking for. Now, step number two, you want to make a call script. Now, Z, I tell people the reason why you want to make a call script is because the pros go slow and the go fast. I said the pros go slow and the go fast. But if you get a hold of the decision maker and you sound like a deer in headlights and you don't know what you're asking for, it's the biggest turnoff in the whole world.
Oh, it's just a complete waste of time, and you actually irritate them more if you're not prepared. and you do get lucky and get that decision maker on the phone quickly, then you better be ready to go.
Pretend that you're the guard dog for Boeing Airlines, and the year is 2002, I believe, and you are the front desk person. And watch as my skillful cold call will get through you. Are you ready?
Yes, thank you for calling Boeing. What can I do for you, sir?
Hey, do you know who's in charge of our holiday party this year? I'm trying to get some details for my wife and I.
Excuse me?
You know, for our holiday party, I'm just trying to figure out the dates and who's the person I need to talk to get reservations. I want to get that taken care of.
I'm not sure. There's probably someone over in, I think that's actually June, handles that. Do you work here at Boeing, sir?
Oh, I love Boeing. Yeah, it's a great company.
Did you have an employee ID number, sir? I can just have them call you with your employee ID number.
Well, the main thing is we sent out that email about everybody reserving their tickets, and I just want to make sure that I get mine before they miss out. You know,
okay. Well, here, let me. Can I put you on hold for a minute?
Yep.
Boeing Airlines is the best. Now with their new 757 Glide Line series.
True story. Now, at this point, I got through to Alice Hardgrove, who's in charge of planning the Boeing 40th anniversary.
This is Alice. How can I help you?
Hey, Alice, do you know who's in charge of planning our holiday party this year?
Well done. You kind of your sneaky McSneaker, son.
But I said our. Who's in charge of scheduling our holiday party? And I got through, but I knew what I wanted to say. So here's what I said. I scripted this out.
Okay, so now I'm sorry. Okay, so now I'm Allison. So boom. Hey, hello.
So hey, Alice, I'm actually. Voice, yeah, I'm actually. My name's Clay Clark. I'm with DJ Connection. We're an entertainment company in town. And I was curious, who's doing this year's entertainment for the holiday party?
I don't know that we have anybody hired.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy were you with last year's person? If 10 is awesome and 1's not so good.
Probably about a 7, maybe an 8.
What would I have to do to get that to a 10? In your mind, what does a 10 sound like?
Well, 10 is really more people engaged in the event, more people up doing the event. I mean, they had some stuff to do, but they just didn't get people gathered up and get them excited about doing it.
Well, with our company, one of the things we specialize in doing is taking your party to the next level and making your party excellent. I think it's easy to claim that, but what we do is we'll book your party for $1. And if you guys like it, you can pay us the other $599 at the end of the night. But the idea is, it's just $1 for you to check it out. But I wouldn't book us just because it's $1. I'd like to come meet with you at your offices just to show you what we can do and see if we have some party enhancement ideas that could take your party from a 7 to a 10.
Well, whoa, pump the brakes there, young man. Do you have any references? I just want to call some people, some other businesses that you've done parties for that I can call, and I probably know some people over there. And
yeah,
and we don't have to do if everything checks out okay, maybe I'll use you.
You can call Nanette over at the Holiday Inn Select at 622-7000, 622-7000.
Okay.
You can also call the people over at the Renaissance Hotel at 918-307-3700. And but basically, I knew who to go with.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key, because you've got to have those names and numbers ready to go, because I don't want to take 30 minutes of my time having you sit there and turn on a fog machine in my office and set up a disco ball and show me that you know how to do the cha-cha shuffle. I don't need that.
And so what I did is, by cold calling and having a script, by 1, doing the research, and then by 2, making a cold call script, I got through the gatekeeper to the decision maker, and I knew what to ask for. And there's a notable quotable that Chet Holmes said in his best-selling book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And Chet was personally mentored by Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's partner. And he says this. He says, about 3% of your potential buyers at any given time are going to buy now. 7% of the population is open to the idea of buying at some point. Well, the other 90% kind of fall into that category. If we're not interested right now, maybe later, already have somebody, that kind of thing.
Right.
The point is, you got about a 10% chance, in my opinion, if you follow the system, of getting a hold of somebody who's open to the idea of working with you. So let's say, I've already called them, and for some reason I didn't get through, I didn't make a good connection yet. What's my next move? Talk to me about gifting.
Gifting. What you want to do is, if you can find out anything about that person, obviously now you know it's a lady. You got her name.
Yep.
Right? You maybe got her voicemail, and maybe just a little bit of research. If you're clever and you want to, if they have like a personal assistant or they have someone that is their gatekeeper, personal gatekeeper, you can call them. And the moves are the moves. I mean, there's a lot of things that you want to make it to where it kind of fits with your theme also. You know what I'm saying? You want to make it to where it's a gift that also maybe kind of ties in, makes it memorable for you. So, for instance, if you are, training, let's say we have what's the name of the dog trainers we have?
Tip Top Canine.
Yeah, Tip Top Canine. Maybe they're trying to cold call someone and get a thing, and then they send a gift. So the gift might be, if someone has dogs, they want to send maybe dog treats.
Can I tell you what I did for the DJ Connection? This is what I mailed them after. If I couldn't get through, baby, this is what I sent every time. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
I had this crazy beat, and I recorded an individual recording. It took me about 5 minutes. I did it for every person on my list. So I go, happy birthday to you, Alice. Happy birthday to you, Alice. Happy birthday, dear Alice. We're probably early or late. Happy birthday to you. And then I would say, Alice, I would love to meet you. I'm probably the first person or the last person to wish you happy birthday. This is your year to take your party to the next level. Please call me. Please. I'm desperate, but I'm not super desperate, but I am hungry. Not super hungry, but I'd love to work with you. Something like that. And I would leave it on a CD, and I'd mail it to people, and people loved it.
Boom. They love it. Yeah, because it's fun, it's clever, it's you, and you're advertising right there. Boom.
And if it didn't work, I dropped off Krispy Kremes. And then I would call, and then drop off Krispy Kremes, and I would call, and I keep doing it. And Z, if in your office, if you can't get a hold of the person, when do you stop and say, okay, I dropped this contact? What is your method? What is the thing I need to keep in my mind? If I worked for you and I couldn't get through the decision, I couldn't get a hold of the decision maker, I couldn't get in front of that person, what would you tell me?
Oh, I would say, after one phone call, if you didn't really make it happen, it's probably not going to happen, and just pack it up and move to greener pastures.
Well, that's encouraging.
No, I would say never. And
what?
in fact, what I do in my auto auction business is I will give you a fairly long amount of time. We're talking 90 days to 6 months. If you can't get it done, I don't give up on trying to get your business. Guess what? I switch the salesperson. I put a new dog on you.
I have some audio from a Thriver who just called in, and they this is what they said.
Surely you can't be serious.
Sure.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
You're saying you just keep marketing to the same person, and after 90 days, if they don't convert, you're just going to switch salespeople?
Absolutely. You switch salespeople, and then someone else comes in, because sometimes, like my sales team has a different little flavor on it. And I had a customer here in town who's been a hard nut to crack in the auto auction business. I'm just going to say a hard nut to crack. And I had all my team took a swing at him. I went and took a swing. So I got my new guy, and I said, okay, here's your number one draft pick.
Number one draft pick, baby.
Go crack this nut. And 2 Fridays ago, he had him at the sale buying cars. I'm like, yes.
Now, does he use does he have kind of like a bromantic ambiance? Does he just use his body to sell? Is he just a gorgeous man? Is he like a Brad Pitt, or what's his deal?
He smells of musk.
Wow. What's his move?
He walks in the room, people go,
what smells so good? Something smells bromantic.
It just smells of musk and hair.
Now, Thrivers, in all seriousness, this is the day that the Lord has made. And I'm telling you what, you can either rejoice and be glad in it, or you can just say, you know what? I'm just going to accept life the way it is. It cannot get better. I'm stuck because of how I was born, the way I was raised. You don't know my background. My history is going to become my future because I can't improve. Or you can say, I have what it takes to move beyond surviving, and I want to start thriving. We have 4 ways to help you. 1, go to Thrive15.com and check out the world's best business school, Z, for $1.
You can't go wrong. I tell you what, lots of mentors on there, lots of information. It's this show unpacked, hours and hours and hours and hours of great stuff on there.
Move number 2, Thrive15.com. Yes, you also have ThriveTimeShow.com. Check out the podcast. Move number 3, sign up for in-person one-on-one coaching. Or move number 4, go to Thrive15.com and learn more about our in-person conferences. As always, Z, 3, 2, 1, boom!